N400, Part 9. Full vocabulary definitions. Have you ever? In your lifetime. In your lifetime. Claim. To say something without proof. To say something without proof. Claim to be a US citizen. To say you are a US citizen. To say you are a US citizen. Register. To sign up. To sign up. Vote. To choose a leader. To choose a leader. Owe. To need to pay. To need to pay. Owe taxes. To owe the government money. To owe the government money. Overdue. Past a deadline. Past a deadline. Owe any overdue taxes. Didn't pay taxes on time. Didn't pay taxes on time. Non-resident alien. A person who has not passed the green card test. A person who has not passed the green card test. File a tax return. To send a tax form to the government. To send a tax form to the government. The Communist Party. A political party that supports communism, like Cuba or China. A political party that supports communism, like Cuba or China. Totalitarian party. A political party in which all people have no power. A political party in which all people have no power. Advocate. To support and promote. To support and promote. Opposition. Disagreement with something, somebody. Disagreement with something, somebody. Establishment. The act of starting or creating a group. The act of starting or creating a group. Totalitarian dictatorship. A political system in which all people have no power. A political system in which all people have no power. Overthrow. To remove a government by force. To remove a government by force. Unconstitutional. Not allowed by the Constitution of a country. Not allowed by the Constitution of a country. Unconstitutional means methods were not allowed by the Constitution. Methods were not allowed by the Constitution. Unlawful assaulting. To attack someone violently illegal. To attack someone violently illegal. Sabotage. The act of destroying something. The act of destroying something. Weapon. An object such as a knife, gun, or bomb. An object such as a knife, gun, or bomb. Explosive. A substance that can cause an explosion. A substance that can cause an explosion. Kidnapping. To take a person away illegally by force. To take a person away illegally by force. Assassination. The killing of someone famous or important. The killing of someone famous or important. Hijacking. The use of force to take control of a vehicle. The use of force to take control of a vehicle. Threaten. To tell someone that you will kill or hurt them. To tell someone that you will kill or hurt them. Conspire. To plan secretly with other people. To plan secretly with other people. Incite. To encourage somebody to do something illegal. To encourage somebody to do something illegal. Participate. To take part in. To take part in. Torture. The act of causing great pain to someone. The act of causing great pain to someone. Genocide. Killing a whole race. Killing a whole race. Kill. To cause someone to die. To cause someone to die. Injure. To hurt someone. To hurt someone. Sexual contact or activity. Touching private parts of someone. Touching private parts of someone. Consent. To agree to do something. To agree to do something. Did not consent. Did not agree. Did not agree. Unable to consent. Could not agree. Could not agree. Religion. The belief in and worship of a god or gods. The belief in and worship of a god or gods. Suffering. Physical or mental pain of a person. Physical or mental pain of a person. Military unit. The official army for a country. The official army for a country. Police unit. A group that enforces the law and stops crime. A group that enforces the law and stops crime. Armed group. A group that carries weapons. A group that carries weapons. Paramilitary unit. Like a military group, but is not official. Like a military group, but is not official. Self-defense unit. A group that protects a community. A group that protects a community. Vigilante unit. A group that acts like the police but is not official. A group that acts like the police but is not official. Rebel group. A group that fights a government. A group that fights a government. Guerrilla group. A group that uses weapons to attack the government. A group that uses weapons to attack the government. To be detained. To be forced to stay. To be forced to stay. Prison or jail. A place where prisoners are kept. A place where prisoners are kept. Prison camp. A camp to keep prisoners of war. A camp to keep prisoners of war. Detention facility. A place where people are forced to stay. A place where people are forced to stay. Labor camp. A place where people are forced to work. A place where people are forced to work. Weapons training. Learning how to use a gun. Learning how to use a gun. Paramilitary training. Learning how to fight in combat. Learning how to fight in combat. Military-type training. Learning how to fight in combat. Learning how to fight in combat. Recruit. To ask someone to join the armed forces. To ask someone to join the armed forces. Enlist. To sign up into the armed forces. To sign up into the armed forces. Conscript. To force someone to join the armed forces. To force someone to join the armed forces. Hostilities. Acts of fighting in a war. Acts of fighting in a war. Combat. To fight in a war. To fight in a war. Commit. To do something wrong or illegal. To do something wrong or illegal. Crime. An action that breaks the law. An action that breaks the law. Commit a crime. To do something that breaks the law. To do something that breaks the law. Offense. A minor crime. A minor crime. To be charged. To be accused formally of a crime. To be accused formally of a crime. Convicted. To be found guilty of a crime under the law. To be found guilty of a crime under the law. Alternative sentencing. A different way to punish someone instead of going to jail. A different way to punish someone instead of going to jail. Rehabilitative program. A program to help someone to recover health. A program to help someone to recover health. Clemency. Reduced a sentence. Reduced a sentence. To be arrested. Handcuffed by the police. Handcuffed by the police. To be cited. Given a ticket by police. Given a ticket by police. To be confined. To be kept in a place. To be kept in a place. Sentence. A punishment under the law. A punishment under the law. Suspended sentence. Delaying a sentence. Delaying a sentence. Probation. To report to an officer regularly instead of jail time. To report to an officer regularly instead of jail time. Parole. Allowed to leave prison early. Allowed to leave prison early. Procure. To find a prostitute for somebody. To find a prostitute for somebody. Prostitute. Someone who has sex for money. Someone who has sex for money. Prostitution. The work of a prostitute. The work of a prostitute. Proceeds. Money from a transaction. Money from a transaction. Cultivate. To prepare land and grow crops on it. To prepare land and grow crops on it. Dispense. To supply something. To supply something. Smuggle. To take things to a country illegally. To take things to a country illegally. Controlled substances. Legal drugs that can be bought with a prescription. Legal drugs that can be bought with a prescription. Narcotics. Like heroin or cocaine. Like heroin or cocaine. Drug paraphernalia. Equipment to make illegal drugs. Equipment to make illegal drugs. Obtain. To gain something. To gain something. Immigration benefit. Things like a visa, green card, or citizenship. Things like a visa, green card, or citizenship. Illegally. Not allowed by the law. Not allowed by the law. Gamble or gambling. To play a game for money. To play a game for money. Illegal gambling. To play a game for money that is against the law. To play a game for money that is against the law. Dependent. Someone who relies on another person. Someone who relies on another person. Support your dependent. To pay child support. To pay child support. Pay alimony. To pay money to an ex-spouse after a divorce. To pay money to an ex-spouse after a divorce. Misrepresentation. The act of giving false information. The act of giving false information. Public benefit. Welfare, like food stamps, housing, education. Welfare, like food stamps, housing, education. False. Not true. Not true. Fraudulent. Intended to deceive somebody. Intended to deceive somebody. Misleading. Giving somebody the wrong idea. Giving somebody the wrong idea. Lie. To say something that is not true. To say something that is not true. Removal. Making someone leave the U.S. Making someone leave the U.S. Rescission. To take back a decision. To take back a decision. Deportation proceeding. Legal process of forcing someone to leave the U.S. Legal process of forcing someone to leave the U.S. Deported. To be forced to leave the U.S. To be forced to leave the U.S. Selective service. Services in armed forces under law. Services in armed forces under law. To avoid being drafted. To prevent being selected as a soldier. To prevent being selected as a soldier. U.S. Armed Forces. U.S. Military, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. U.S. Military, Navy, Air Force, Space Force. Alien. A person who lives in a country but is not a citizen. A person who lives in a country but is not a citizen. Hereditary title. A royal title such as prince or princess. A royal title such as prince or princess. Order of nobility. A position given by a king or queen. A position given by a king or queen. Constitution. It's the supreme law of the land. It's the supreme law of the land. The form of government of the United States. Republic. Republic. Oath. A promise. A promise. Allegiance. To be loyal to something. To be loyal to something. Oath of allegiance to the United States. A promise to be loyal to the United States. A promise to be loyal to the United States. Bear arms. To carry weapons. To carry weapons. Non-combatant services. Services that do not involve combat or hiding. Services that do not involve combat or hiding. Perform non-combatant services. Do something that does not involve fighting in a war. Do something that does not involve fighting in a war. Work of national importance. Tasks that are important to a nation. Tasks that are important to a nation. Civilian direction. A direction from a person who is not in the military. A direction from a person who is not in the military. Example of work of national importance under civilian direction. Helping the Red Cross after an earthquake. Floor. Helping the Red Cross after an earthquake. Floor. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to our channel for more.